Hi, Sam Sorbo here for the Accidental Homeschooler. That's you, accidentally homeschooling. Who would have thought? So today I want to talk about child's play. I want to talk about engaging your children to be adults. I said this on a video and I got so much feedback from that of like, yes, I've always done that. That's the way to go. Da 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 da. And I thought, it seems kind of a no-brainer, except that the reason that I started saying it is because I distinctly remember one of my friends talking baby talk to her children like all the time. Like it drove me insane. And I loved this gal. But it was always like, oh, what do you want? Do you want a sandwich? Like fake words and baby talk. And when I saw that was before I had kids, I just went, wow, I'm never going to do that. So I probably went all the way the other way. But I want to encourage you, your children are little people. So we should be talking to them as if they're little people with limited understanding, right? So big words, be careful. Use a couple big words. I remember when I taught my, he was about 2.5 years old, I taught Braden to say reconstitute. Don't ask me why. I just thought it was fun to teach him big, difficult words. And he knew what it meant. And so we would drop raisins in water. And I would say, what are we doing? He'd say, they're going to reconstitute. Sorry, it's too much fun. It engages them on you're bringing them up to your level. You're bringing them up. It's called raising children, right? So raise them. Raise them. Put that bar high and let them aim for it and give them that impetus to do so. They play dress up, right? Do you think that that's just child play? They dress as adults. They put on your high-heeled shoes. They pretend that they're the boss. They pretend that they're mommy. They pretend that they're daddy. It's not child's play. They're playing the part because they desire to achieve that. Yes, they're too young to actually do it, but that doesn't matter. It's part of how they emerge into the people that they are going to be, into the people that they are busy becoming. So I know that we're on lockdown now, but for instance, we won't be forever, okay? I'm fairly optimistic about that. This will be over soon. When you take your kids to the store, give them the money to hand to the cashier and say, okay, how much, and you know what? Sure, if there are 20 people in line, don't do that. Be kind and think of the people behind you. But let's say you're at the store and there's really nobody waiting. Or the one person behind you is like looking at all the gum and trying to figure stuff out. Take a moment. Use it as a teaching opportunity for your child and say, okay, what number does this say? Okay, here's mommy's money. How much money should we use? And then how much change should we have? And engage them. Make them engage in the world around them, right? And when I think about these kinds of things, I go into this in my book a little bit. There's a chapter in here. I should have looked at this before I started, but I didn't actually know that I was going to go here. I can't find it. Okay. The point in the book that I make is there are all of these teaching opportunities that we think of, oh, well, everything's a teaching opportunity. But what happens is when we send our children into the institution every day, we forget. We forget that we are the child's primary teacher, or we should be the child's primary teacher. So now that you have this opportunity, use it. Get your children to help you make dinner. Is it typical that the kids were in school and then they come home, they've got homework, so they're off in the other room doing the homework, and then or they're at their sports or whatever, and then they come home and you're like, okay, here's your dinner. Sure. And that's understandable. But not anymore. So what are we having for dinner? I don't know, Mommy, what are we having? What would you like to make? I'll tell you what we have. We have hamburger meat. There's pasta in the pantry. We have, I've got lots of seasoning. I do have some gravy or whatever. And what do you feel like making? Should we go on? I actually did this with my son this morning. Not that we haven't done this before, but because I was in this mind of it, I said, "What do you want for dinner?" And we pulled a piece of meat out of the freezer, and I said, "Okay, so let's look up some recipes." And he looked up a recipe. We found a recipe, and that's what we're going to have for dinner. And he's in charge. I'm supervising a little bit, but that's how you get your kids. And all of a sudden, your kids are cooking. And they're cooking for you, which is really why I had kids to begin with. I'm kidding. All right, so engage your children to become the adults that you hope that they will be. In fact, expect them to become the adults that you hope that they will be. And say those words over them. Encourage them with that language. And say, you know what's great about you? You're so honest. You're so darn trustworthy. You know, if I'm ever confused about something, I know that if I ask for your opinion, you're just going to give me your opinion. I love that about you. Or whatever, right? You're so conscientious. You know how you did the dishes last night after everybody else got up and left? That was amazing. Like, there's a kid after my own heart. You're amazing, right? But engage them to become the adults that you want them to be. That's the message for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, homeschooling